Top of the day to every one of you, wherever you are across the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How have you been? Of course, it is the beginning of the 10th month of the year. And I hope that you've achieved all the goals that you've set out for yourselves, or at least 90% of it, because 2024 is about winding down. Welcome once again. This is Sports Africa. It's about time again. Of course, the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers are already upon us once again. And of course, all the national teams from today, at least, players are expected to return back to their country, those based abroad, of course, to begin preparation for their respective clashes. My name remains Ashalo Luafemi. This is Sport Africa. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And please, like we always say, of course, the comment section is yours. Whatever you think we could do all right here to make what we do better just for you, please put this in the comment section. James Agbere is here. James, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Femi. I'm happy to be on today's edition.
Okay, apologies, we couldn't come around last week, but of course, like they say, better late than never. James, so much to talk about, but I think it is best we start in Ghana today because finally, of course, the Accra Sports Stadium has been accredited finally by the Confederation of African Football. So the Black Stars will be hosting Sudan, on that picture on October 11th. So James, let's talk about Otto Addo, because Otto Addo, the Black Stars coach, has been speaking regarding that game. Remember, it's going to be like a homecoming or some sort for Kwesi Appiah. He said he respects Kwesi Appiah, for all he achieved as a footballer, and of course now what he's doing, the brilliant job he is currently undertaking with Sudan. But he said that he's trying to prepare his team in the best possible. Of course, since last week he has released his own squad for the game. But just let's talk about this. Do you think this is going to be one of the most important games for Otto Addo in a second return as the Black Stars coach? Because Ghana, if you look at Group F, they have just 1 point from 2 matches.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pressure game for Otto Addo because, one, you're going to face a team that handled by a former Black Stars coach, somebody who knows the team inside out, so it doesn't get easier. And you know that they didn't get off to the best of starts. Just 1 point in two games are not good enough for a team that was showing signs of improvement during the World Cup qualifiers. Then, when you expected them to build from that, they started. I mean, the AFCON qualifiers, the match they 1 and 2, we are not something palatable at all, because it's like they took 1 step forward and 3 steps backward again. So now coming up against the Sudanese side, handled by Kwesi Appiah, somebody who knows the Black Stars, it's going to be very tricky for them. Fine, they will be playing at home, but the last time they played at home, remember they lost in front of the fans, which led to fans going haywire, destroying things, So he puts the team in a very nice situation, and they'll be under pressure, especially if you look at what happened the last time, So it's not going to come easy for them. And also, Kwesi Appiah to prove a point that for him to leave the shores of Ghana to coach outside, it goes to show that he has something to offer. That's why Sudan appointed him, and it's going to be a tight contest, no doubt. But let's just see how things pans out for the Black Stars, so that they'll be able to come out from the lackluster performance and match the 1 and 2.
Okay, James, you took that rightly out of my mouth. But I think for Ghana now, what's his name? Thomas Partey was doing well with Arsenal, and of course, Mohamed Kudus scored his first goal of the season over the weekend. But James, let's talk about Kwesi Appiah still. You talked about, you want to prove that, doing well with Sudan in the World Cup qualifiers. It's unbelievable that Sudan are topping their group. And of course, even in the AFCON qualifiers, they're just the second. They are above Ghana. Would you say at this point that he is an asset that Ghana actually missed out on? He's been there before, but, someone like him, you would have wanted to give him another chance. Would you say that at this point, he should have been, at the state of affairs with the Black Stars?
When things like this comes up, you always want to say, oh, if you had given the chance, this and that. When he was the Black Stars coach, actually, the highest point of Appiah's reign was qualifying for the World Cup. now see we won the AFCON for them, or
Which
we can't take that
was not a
away.
mean feat. Which is not a mean feat, because even
Yeah, I
we
know,
have
I
some expansion
understand.
coaches who couldn't achieve that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That he has his own good side, as in what he did for the Black Stars. I mean, remember that it was Egypt that they took out. Remember how they dismantled Egypt in the playoff. So I mean, the time came when he just had to leave. Well, it's a good thing that after leaving the Black Stars job, he just didn't sit down and remain idle. He took his craft outside Ghana and is in charge of Sudan. I remember that Sudan is the former African champions. Despite the fact that this happened like 54 years ago, but I mean, it's still there that he's in charge of the former African champions. They are not among the superpowers if you want to really look at it, but you can't take that away from because Sudan, we give any top side in Africa, they will give any top side a good run for their money. And now we're being under former Black Stars coach. I mean, and from what they've been doing so far, at least it goes to show that he's really doing something positive. That's why I said it's going to be a very tricky game for the Black Stars if care is not taken. I hope what we experienced in match the 1 and 2 not repeat itself, because Kwesi Appiah, like I said, he's going to prove a point. I mean, if it means taking out his own country to achieve that, I mean, they are his employers, so you just have to do what he has been employed for, and that is to qualify Sudan for the AFCON. And if it means taking out his own country, I mean, so be it.
All right. Someone said it's unimaginable that Sudan, who are experiencing civil war in their country, are actually doing well in football. James, let's go to Nigeria now. Of course, we've seen the 23-man list released by interim head coach Augustine Guapoin. James, particularly that team has been met with maybe some form of criticism, I would say, because when you have the likes of Taiwo Awoniyi, you have the likes of Samuel Chukwueze, and of course, Kelechi Iheanacho. These three guys, they rarely get playing time in their club. Now, Taiwo Awoniyi, the last time he was in the AFCON qualifiers against Benin Republic and Rwanda, he didn't get to play. Between then and now, that was September 10 when Nigeria played Rwanda away. Up to this time, Taiwo Awoniyi has only played 45 minutes of football at Nottingham Forest. As a matter of fact, yesterday against Chelsea, he didn't get to play. And if you look at Kelechi Iheanacho, same thing. He didn't get to play yesterday in Sevilla's 1-0 victory over Real Betis in a local derby. Then Samuel Chukwueze is a regular sub on. So he's been met with some form of criticism. What is your opinion about this?
Femi, I think my only among these three players, I think the only person who I feel should take a back seat for now is Taiwo Awoniyi, because for me, he has not really done much to deserve a call up with Super Eagles. I don't know, maybe because of the absence of Victor Osimhen, so you need a lot of forwards, But the thing is, Taiwo Awoniyi has not really proven he has not done much for the Super Eagles. If I'm to be frank, I can't recall any high point of his any game he played for the Super Eagles that, I mean, you say, okay, this is the game that Taiwo Awoniyi did very well. I mean, it's just I don't think he has even scored up to 3 goals for the Super Eagles. But he keeps getting the call up. While there are some players who have been doing well for their club side, and just for example, somebody like Siri Desas, who is, if he's not scoring, he's assisting, but I don't think he has really been given that opportunity. It's either he only gets called up for friendly games, but when it gets to the qualifiers and the major tournaments, he only gets overlooked. But the likes of Awoniyi, whether they do well or not, they still get called up. But for me, I think if I were to pick among these three players, I think I will cut some slack for Chukwueze. Because, he still gets to play for Super Eagles, and also, for a Milan team, I mean, if you check the three of them, who is playing for the biggest club among the three of them, it's Chukwueze, and he still gets to play in some minutes. Because I mean the Milan team is stocked up, but he still gets to, gets subbed on and plays 30 minutes, So I can still cut him some slack, but Iheanacho, the last time he didn't even get to to feature at all in the last qualifiers. Awoni does absolutely nothing. I mean, I know it sounds harsh, but there's no, you can't say this is what Awoni has achieved as a Super Eagles player. He has not really done much. So I think this is the kind of thing that we always talk about, that if the team is not competitive, I mean, some people are not having it, keep getting called up. We still have some players who have been doing so well for their club side, where they keep getting overlooked. I mean, I think they have to be based on performance now. If you're not really doing well, if he's not getting injured, he's not playing at all, or so why is it that he keeps getting called up? You know, so I don't know. It goes to show that we still have a lot of work to do. Sorry, Femi, and the sad part is, I mean, you cannot even beat your chest that these guys will come in and do something now that Osimhen is not even around. Because in the last qualifiers, without Osimhen, we saw how flat they were, how flat they were. They just couldn't muster anything. And now that Osimhen is not going to be there, I mean, it doesn't even give you any confidence at all. So
yeah,
they've been called up. So let's just hope that a turnaround for them.
Once again, you took that on my mind, because I was going to express some worry regarding that list. Because, as it were, Osimhen is out. Victor Boniface is the only out-and-out striker who is currently in top form. But again, in the Super Eagles, he has also been struggling. You understand? Against the Republic of Benin, he started, he couldn't get a goal. Against Rwanda, he started, he couldn't get a goal. He's still looking for his first competitive goal for the Super Eagles, because the other goal he had was in an international friendly, and of course also an assist. Would you say that list, Nigeria might struggle to get goals in the back-to-back fixture against Libya?
I mean, you can't rule that out because we've seen it in past games. I mean, look at when Osimhen was not present during the World Cup qualifiers, he only managed to score 2 goals. But when he was present at the AFCON, even though he was not scoring, but you see that he was almost involved in all the goals the Super Eagles scored at the AFCON. So for me, I think our coaches still need to do more. I mean, if they should always, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea if you pair these guys. Maybe, for example, Victor Boniface. I think he will do well if he's paired with another striker. Why not play with twin strikers? So that if he's not scoring, one thing about Boniface, even though he's not scoring, he has that presence. He knows how to create space and create chances for this. His hold up is very good.
But James, sorry to cut you in. In this instance, if you were to listen to you, who is even going to pair Boniface? Because one, someone like Awoni doesn't play regularly, and Igabon himself said, if a player doesn't play at his club regularly, he doesn't have fitness, it is very dangerous for you to come to national team and feed him for 90 minutes or give him a length of time on the pitch, because he will get injured, certainly. So in this case, what you're bringing on is a good suggestion. But Igabon doesn't even have much option on the bench, because as it were now, Boniface is the only fit striker in that team who plays regularly.
Femi, when things like this comes up, that's when you expect the coach to put on his thinking cap. We have somebody like Ademola Lookman, who is scoring. He's scoring like a striker now. Yes. So what stops you from even coming up with? Because one thing you should understand is the Libyans, we know that they know Ademola Lookman, they know Boniface, they know that these guys, and they will have an idea of how we set up. There is one will come from the wing. One will be in the. Why not just play the two, put them in front, or maybe let Boniface play kind of a withdrawn rule. Come up with something different. Not like you always put up a predictable lineup. Sometimes that's where you see, that's where you find coaches. I mean, we never knew that something like a false 9 was. Teams can play with the false 9. It's somebody that came up with that idea. The coach, you just have to think. That's why it pisses me off when I see some of our coaches. We always do the same. We always come up with the same predictable lineup. That this, that this person is going to be here. This person is going to be here. Ademola Lookman will play from the left. Chukwueze will come from the Ademola Lookman will come from the left. Chukwueze from the right. They will play point man. The normal setup. But sometimes our coaches need to be creative. I won't mind what do you call the Lookman even spearheading the attack. You don't have to confuse the opponent. So you don't have fine. You don't have an Osimhen. So that didn't give the opportunity to, okay, let's even try something. It's so unfortunate that we don't even have friendly games to even try out these different things, because you know that it's the same set of players who you know is going to be in goal, you know is going to be in defense, in midfield. Sometimes you just have to come up with some different tactics. Lookman has been scoring goals. I mean, why not? Okay, pushing him for let's see. Come up with something different, you know, because you can't keep on relying on Osimhen all the time. Osimhen. These guys too, they need to step up. I mean, they are doing well for their club side. Come to Super Eagles and give us half-baked performances. I think it's high time we just stop relying only on Osimhen.
Okay, we saw that played out under Osimhen. We saw that played out under Finidi George. Let's see if Augustine Guavin, like you said, will be able to put on his thinking cap, I should say. James, let's go to Senegal now. I'm sure you were shocked last week, or maybe something you were expecting, when it was announced that the FA will not be renewing Aliou Cisse's contract. Because he was even preparing, a report I read, he was preparing to announce his squad for the upcoming AFCON qualifiers when that news actually broke. And quickly, James, what baffles me is the reasons, because the FA said government said his contract should not be renewed. So I'm going to give you a couple of reasons, because the FA actually they reviewed why his contract was not renewed. Now, in a letter, they said listing Sports Ministry's reasons for getting rid of him: not reaching recent tournament objectives, falling FIFA ranking. Senegal fell from 17 to 21. Then the risk of worsening relations between the team and the Senegalese public. James, would you say these reasons are tenable? If a team fell in FIFA ranking from 17 to 21, some coaches will even tell you they don't believe in FIFA ranking. They just want to achieve with their team. Because if you look at Senegal, they are unbeaten in their World Cup qualifiers, though they are second behind Sudan, but they are unbeaten. They are on 10 points. They are just about 2 points behind Senegal. And of course, in the AFCON qualifier, they're also unbeaten. So people are asking questions. What do you think? Do you think the reasons given by the FA are actually tenable?
I mean, those are just flimsy excuses. They are just looking for a way to just do away with him. I think it's high time for Cisse to, you know, he has done well. I think he rank as one of the best legends when it comes to African football. He has done really, really well for himself. You know, I mean, he spent, like, if I'm not mistaken, that would be like
almost
9 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Almost 10 years, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, for me, he has achieved everything that he won them the AFCON, the first ever. He played in 2 finals. He was lucky enough to win the second final. He got to he qualified them for 2 World Cups. If I'm
2 World Cups, yeah.
He qualified them for 2 World Cups. Got to the round of 16 in 2022. I mean, for me, Femi, he has done marvelously well. For me, this is the best time for him.
For an African coach.
To just yes, to just leave. Because for me, I believe that him leaving now, he's going to open another opportunity for him, because I believe other countries, especially in Africa, they will come for him, because for what he was able to achieve with Senegal, I mean, it takes, I don't know which Senegalese coach, former player turned coach, will be able to replicate this feat, because it's a massive feat. During the, he played, he almost won the AFCON as a player, and he couldn't do it, but he was able to do it as a coach. So, I mean, for me, they just want to get rid of him. You know, when they want to get rid of somebody, there's no kind of excuse, some kind of, I mean, from 10 to 20. They're not going to be there forever. There are other people coming up. So it's like a circle. The team has gotten to their to the peak. So, kind of, I mean, it's downward slope now. Yeah, it's downward slope now. So it's just for them to now reshuffle and come back stronger. You're not going to reign forever. He has done his bit. He has achieved. Nobody's going to take that away from him. He's a legend when it comes to coaching in Africa too. You know, a legend of African football as a player and also as a coach. I mean, join the likes of Stephen Keshi, Hassan Shihata, you know, people who play the game and were able to win the AFCON. So for me, he has done his own bit. He should just. I don't expect him to see that as a big disappointment. For me, you should see it as someone who has done his own bit, and I think it's time to just leave this team. I believe he's going to get another job. Honestly, he's going to get another job.
I'll be shocked, James, if the Senegalese FA pick an African coach, I think they will be going for a foreign coach. And James, in 1 minute, do you think the NFF should ring up at least they are still looking for a substantive coach for the Super Eagles?
No, Femi, I don't think. Well, one thing, the language barrier is going to be a very big issue.
Maybe he speaks
We've not gotten over
basically, where Pesero came, how much English was Pesero speaking when he came?
I want to believe Pesero speaks better English than Sisi. I can't recall listening to English. So that could be a big barrier. So they shouldn't even go there. I'm not taking anything away from him that whether he doesn't have the capacity to coach the Super Eagles. I mean, for somebody to win the AFCON, I mean, it's not a small feat, but I don't think the NFF will even consider that.
But I've seen coaches who work at club levels, with the help of an interpreter. So I don't know. Okay. So on Thursday we have Cape Verde, Botswana, DR Congo, Tanzania. We have Ghana versus Sudan. Of course, we talked about that. Burkina Faso, Burundi, Algeria, and Togo. Then on Friday we have Equatorial Guinea, Liberia, Madagascar, Gambia, Cameroon. They'll be taking on Libya, Nigeria. Cameroon will be taking on Kenya, I beg your pardon. Then Nigeria will be taking on Libya, Egypt, Mauritania, Benin Republic versus Rwanda. James, I think that is also a game that to watch out for. I'm sure Nigeria will be very interested in that game. South Africa, Congo, Senegal, Mali, I guess Cisse will be in charge of that game. I think this contract will be running out at the end of the year. Then Mali, Guinea-Bissau, Angola, Niger, Gabon versus Lesotho. So, James, hopefully the players, of course, Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, everywhere, Cameroon, the players who will be coming in from today, being Monday, at least to resume the national assignment. James Agrebi, thank you so much for your thoughts on the show today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Femi. I'll see you next time.
Okay, so to our fans, our viewers across the globe, thank you so much for your support. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Please don't forget, like we've said, the comment section belongs to you. Please, whatever you think we can do better right here to serve you better because we are here because of you, please put it in the comment section. This is where we discuss all things sports in Africa. And of course, we'll do whatever you said, of course, we should actually do to make our programming better right here. Thank you so much to our producer for always doing this for us. I remain Ashalolu Afemi. I wish you a fantastic week ahead. And of course, to all the national teams in Africa, I wish everyone injury-free. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.